My name is Chris Larkin, and I am the Vice President of Development for the Hubbs-SeaWorld Research Institute. With me today are two of our elite scientists engaged in our marine mammal emergency response operations in the Central Florida area, and they'll describe that a little bit more in a moment. As we talk about women in science in the month of March, and joining me today are Wendy Noke-Durden and Teresa Jablonski. Would you mind introducing yourselves? Teresa, will you begin?
Sure. So my name's Teresa. I've worked with Hubbs-SeaWorld for about 16 years now. So I started when I was in college. I was fortunate to volunteer and do intern work with SeaWorld, and that's how I was connected with Hubbs-SeaWorld and got involved in responding to marine mammal strandings and researching local bottlenose dolphins. So I was hooked early on. And yeah, we're on call 24/7 for any whale and dolphin strandings along a large portion of the east coast of Florida. So we're pretty busy. We're the busiest program of our kind in the state. So it gives us great opportunities for research, but also keeps us really busy.
Wendy, would you introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Wendy Noke-Durden, and I'm a research scientist with Hubbs-SeaWorld Research Institute. And I have been here for 20 years. Doesn't seem like it, goes by quick. But I also began in a collaborative effort with SeaWorld. I was doing my graduate thesis in collaboration with SeaWorld. And really that's how I was able to get my start volunteering and having that project in which SeaWorld was associated to get into the marine mammal field.
We're going to ask some generic questions. Teresa, a moment ago you mentioned that you started at the Hubbs-SeaWorld Research Institute while you were in college. That's correct?
Mm-hmm.
Where were you going to school?
I went to the University of Central Florida. So it's right here in Orlando, pretty close to SeaWorld. So we had some connections with a killer whale program that was going on at the stadium at SeaWorld. And then I was connected with Wendy and with Dr. Ann Bowles at Hubbs, who was doing a vocal study on killer whales. So that's how I first became connected with Hubbs-SeaWorld. And I didn't know at that time all the work that we did with local wildlife. So once I learned about the stranding program and aerial survey work, I couldn't wait to learn more about it and get involved. I've always been really interested in biology, and I've always loved whales and dolphins. So I was pretty set from a young age. I wanted to be a marine biologist before I even knew how to spell it. So I've always loved whales and dolphins. I would read every book that I could find, watch every documentary, record every special that they had on whales and dolphins on TV. But I went to SeaWorld as often as I could to go on all the tours and go see the animals.
Hey, Wendy, same kind of question there. Where'd you go to school?
So I went to the University of Central Florida, and along similar lines, like I had always wanted to be a marine biologist as well since I was young. I grew up in New Jersey. When I was in middle school, we moved to Florida, and we lived, right by the Indian River Lagoon, and I discovered they have their own population of dolphins, and that really fueled my desire to be able to work with and study bottlenose dolphins and whales as well. I always thought I would be in science, and I had tried out some different aspects. I was an engineering student for about one semester. That didn't pan out, and I really wanted, I wanted to work with dolphins. It just seemed very far-fetched that you would be able to actually get a job doing that. So I continued my journey, and I got my degrees in biology and psychology as well.
Teresa, back to you. Is there a favorite component of the work, something you enjoy in particular that you do?
I think one of our favorite things is kind of every day could be different. So you never really know what to expect. It's definitely not a 9-to-5 job. So there's a level of excitement that you never know, like what the day will bring. But I think the most rewarding days, our favorite days at work, are when we can kind of make a difference in the life of an animal. So a lot of what we do is responding to and recovering animals that have died and trying to learn what we can by collecting samples. But when we can intervene and save an animal from entanglement or an injury or if they've become orphaned, stranded on the beach, when we can return them back to their natural environment and have the opportunity to see them grow and thrive and contribute back to their population, I think those are the days that we really remember the most and that kind of keep us coming back.
Wendy, same type of question. Do you have a favorite component of the work that you do?
So in addition to our stranding work, we also have dolphin ecology programs where we monitor dolphins throughout the Indian River Lagoon and up into the estuaries to the north of that. So many of these animals we've known their entire life. We've watched them, be rescued and then reproduce and have offspring of their own. So we're able to really follow them long haul and be able to have an insight into their lives after the intervention or after they're rescued.
What advice would you give a young woman interested in a career in science? Teresa, is there something you'd like to share?
It's a tough question. There are hurdles getting into the field as a woman. So I would advise other women trying to get into this field or young women just to not be discouraged and just know that you're capable of whatever you set out to do. Don't let anyone tell you what you can't do. Just push that aside and let them watch you do the work and get it done. So whether it's driving a big truck, driving a boat, going on a dolphin rescue, whatever it is that you're really interested in doing, you're not less than, you're not weaker. You can accomplish those things with some determination and you're capable of doing it.
Thank you, Teresa. Wendy, any thoughts on that?
I think Teresa did a really good job. I would say if you're interested in science in general, maybe just try and figure out what fields interest you at an early age and then try and make contacts within those fields. That helps you get almost like a behind the scenes view, like a real view of what that particular job or career would look like. And I feel like that could be really helpful. Some of these fields, depending on what you're interested in, are extremely competitive. So having some practical experience or even contacts in the field or just having some extra knowledge could be really helpful.
Hey, that's a good statement there, Wendy. Do you think volunteering while they're in high school and such might be helpful?
Yeah, there are some organizations that can take younger volunteers, particularly zoos. Some of your local zoos may be able to let volunteers work, or you could volunteer at an animal shelter, or depending on your age, you could even work as a vet tech and get some hands-on animal experience and see if that's really what would interest you as a career in the long term.
So if you enjoyed what you've heard today, and I always encourage everyone to learn more by going to our website and taking a peruse around and seeing what we're up to, following us on Instagram, following us on Facebook and on Twitter. And when the mood strikes you, please feel free to make a donation, and we'd be grateful for that. Wendy, thank you very much for your time today.
Oh, you're sorry. I didn't know you were recording still.
A blooper reel is great.
Hey, Wendy, thanks for being with us today. We appreciate it.
Of course. Thanks for having us, Chris.
Teresa, awesome job. Thanks for being with us today.
Thanks, Chris.
All right, see you on the water.
Bye.
That was so good.
That's all right. I'll edit.
Come on, Chris. Come on.